Hi everyone, I hope you had a great weekend. I also hope you were able to learn more about secrets and who you should tell secrets to or who you shouldn't tell secrets to, and when it is and when it isn't okay to break a secret and tell someone about it. This week we're going to be learning about personal space and how to use personal space with the different people in your life. As always, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Alright, so let's start with the definition of personal space. So personal space is a space around you that is your area, and how close you stand or sit to another person will depend on your relationship with that person. So let's start by watching a video, and the video is going to demonstrate personal space used with different people.
Hey, don't you go to my school?
Hi.
So, guess what?
hmm
My parents are arguing, so I had to get out of the house for a little bit.
Okay.
I really like your necklace.
hmm
It's nice.
hmm
What are you looking at?
It's private. Gotta go.
Alright, so in the video you probably saw that the two people didn't know each other very well, and they would be considered to be in that yellow zone on the traffic light poster. They were acquaintances. So the guy came over and he said, "Hey, I think you go to my school." And she looked like she recognized him, so she said, "Yeah." But he didn't seem to know her name, and she didn't seem to know his name. So they're in that yellow zone together. So when he came to sit next to her, he was too close to her and he was not respecting her personal space. So they didn't know each other's names. They really didn't know who each other were besides that they were peers at school. And therefore, the guy should not have been getting that close to the girl, and he should have not have been in her personal space that close. So she seemed to be on her phone. She was doing something private, as she mentioned, and he kept scooting closer and closer to her on the bench, and her body language showed that she was uncomfortable. She was turning away, she was hiding her phone, she didn't seem very happy and excited to see him and talk to him. So if you are in that yellow zone with somebody, it's safe to say you should stay further apart than that from them. And if you see somebody that you think you know who's an acquaintance, you say hello to them. Maybe you sit down next to them, and if they move over a little bit and give you some room, then that's comfortable. But it's a good idea to gauge who the person is in your life and what zone they fall into, and that should tell you how you should respect their personal space and how close you should be to them. So I would say for this video, the two people were too close. So the guy was getting too close to her for the relationship that they had. They were in the yellow zone, they didn't know each other's names, and they were just acquaintances. So he was a little bit too close to her, and she was uncomfortable because of it. And because he was making her uncomfortable and moving very close to her, touching her necklace, and trying to see her phone, she kept moving away and she eventually got up and left. So, this is a signal that if a person is moving away from you or they get up and leave, that you might have been too close in their personal space. So, it's important to respect that boundary and know if a person is in the green zone, a yellow zone, or the red zone for you, and that should tell you what kind of personal space you should use with that person. Alright, so going back to that traffic light poster, I know in the past we talked about the green zone means go, it means someone is a trusted adult or a trusted friend in your life, and the yellow zone means that somebody is an acquaintance or someone you kind of know a little bit, and then the red zone means bully or somebody that you do not know at all. So when we're talking about personal space, we're going to use a traffic light poster to determine how close you should be to somebody if they allow it. So the green zone represents you are touching someone and you are close to them. The yellow zone means that you are usually at an arm's length away from them. And the red zone means that you are more than an arm's length away, and you should never get closer than an arm's length away from this person. So these are the three different zones when it comes to how close you are to somebody and respecting their personal space. So personal space is important because it lets you know how close you can be to somebody else without them feeling threatened, mad, scared, or uncomfortable. So as we saw in the video, these two people were in the yellow zone, but the guy was still getting very close to the girl, and she really was uncomfortable because of it. So it's really important to know about the green zone, the yellow zone, and the red zone when it comes to personal space, because that will tell you how close you can or cannot get to somebody else. Alright, so as we saw in the video once again, when the guy got too close to the girl, she moved away. But if you get too close to somebody who you are an acquaintance with, or if somebody is in that red zone for you, they could hit you, they could shove you, they could yell at you, or call you names if they feel that you are too close in invading your personal space. So if you are in that yellow zone or red zone with somebody, it's important to stay an arm's length away from them. So an arm's length is different for everybody because everyone has a different length of an arm. So it's a good idea to, if you want to try and be an arm's length away, to stick out your arm like this, and the other person, if they are in that yellow zone or that red zone, to be at the end of your fingertips about an arm's length away. So that is a good, comfortable, and safe distance to be away from somebody who is in that yellow zone or that red zone. Alright, so now that we demonstrated what an arm's length away is and how close you should be to somebody, whether they are in that green zone, that yellow zone, or that red zone for you, let's do a check for understanding worksheet. Alright, here's our check for understanding personal space questions. Number 1, what are the 2 factors that determine your personal space with others? Your relationship with the person and what traffic light color they are. That is true. If you showered, so you typically should take a shower once a day, and this is very important, but I don't think it determines your personal space with other people. Whether the person is a male or female. So this might determine your personal space with other people depending on whether a male is in the green light zone or the yellow traffic light zone for you, but I don't think it's an absolute determining factor on your personal space with other people. And this last one right here, where you are in the setting or place. So I'm going to go with this one for the 2 answers because where you are and where you're sitting or what's happening around you might determine your personal space with other people no matter what traffic light zone they are in for you. Number 2, if you are in someone's physical space and you shouldn't be, what may happen? They may become upset and move away, yes. So if you are in someone's personal space and they really don't like it, they could become upset. They may hug you. No, so typically if you are invading someone's personal space, they would not hug you, they'd become more upset with you. They may become scared and hit you. So yes, this is true. If you are very close to somebody and they don't know you, or they're in that yellow traffic light zone with you, they may become scared or frightened and end up physically hurting you. They may make fun of you and call you names. Yes, so if you should not be in someone's personal space, they could make fun of you and call you names just because they're scared and they don't want you to be in their personal space. So lastly, they may smile at you. So typically, if you're in someone's physical space and you shouldn't be there, they wouldn't be smiling at you because, like I said in the past, they'd be more upset with you. Alright, and lastly, number 3. In what settings or places do you have little control over personal space? So where are some areas that you cannot control how close you are to somebody else? So the elevator, yes. So typically, elevators only are able to fit so many people in them, and you may be closer to people who you do not know, even if you don't want to be. The mall. So I'm not going to highlight the mall because malls are big spaces and they have a lot of areas, many different stores you can go into, so you can typically move away from other people and respect people's personal spaces. So on the bus. So I'm going to highlight on the bus because usually you aren't able to control people's personal spaces on the bus because they're limited seating, and you probably will have to sit next to someone who's in that yellow zone or in that red zone, which means you'll be very close to them. At home. So at home, I would say you are able to control your personal space because you can move away from your family members or your friends or whoever's at home with you pretty easily. At a church or a synagogue. So yes, typically at churches or synagogues, there are limited spaces for people to sit, and so you have to sit next to people who you do not know or who's an acquaintance to you, which means being very close to them. So you wouldn't be able to control your personal space or their personal space very much. An escalator. Yes, so again, an escalator, the stairs are very close to one another, and it makes it hard to have your own area on an escalator. All right, so these are our check for understanding personal space questions. All right, you guys, that's all I have for you today. I hope you were able to learn a little bit of something and learn more about what personal space is and how you can give other people in your life personal space depending on whether they're in that green zone, that yellow zone, or that red zone for you. As always, if you have any questions, please feel free to send me an email. Thanks so much, and I'll see you guys next week.